guys, it's Mrs. Sharp. So welcome to math. We're going to be working in our Ready Math workbook, but don't worry, it's not going to be a video that lasts forever. So it's pretty shortened. So we're going to be looking at page 134. It is lesson 15, and I'm going to pull it up right now. There we go. Okay, so it is lesson 15. We're adding several two-digit numbers. So we added some two-digit numbers, pairs of two-digit numbers yesterday during the field trip to the zoo. Hope that was a fun experience for you. Saw lots of good creatures. But today we're going to be adding even more. So I want you to look this over on your page, and you can go ahead and pause the video and read through this, and I will read through it in just a second. Okay, you're back. Welcome back. Gia follows directions to find a secret code for a treasure hunt. Start at the oak tree. Take 36 steps towards the fence. Turn right. Take 28 steps. Turn left. Take 42 steps. The total number of steps is the secret code. What is the secret code? Well, they show you here. You are going to break each number into tens and ones and write your answers in the box. So, as we know, 36 equals 30 plus 6. This is expanded form. Then 28 equals 20 plus 8, and 42 equals 40 plus 2. Now, if at any time I go too fast, just pause the video, write down what you need, or rewind and start again. All right, so B, you add the tens. What do you get? Well, 30 plus 20. What is 3 plus 2? 5. So it's 50. 50 plus 40. And if you remember, the ones are all zeros, so you don't have any. So you can just add these numbers up. Just remember that they're tens. So our total there is 90. Add the ones, what do you get? Well, we have a 10 right here, right? So we have 16. So what is the secret code? The secret code is, we are going to write it out. The secret code is 0 plus 6 equals 6. 9 plus 1, 10. Well, 10 tens make 100, so we're going to put a 0 in the tens place and add that 100 on. Now, we don't want to go like 106, or that's what? 1006. So, nope. 106. And how did you get your answer? Well, you added the tens. I added the tens together. And the ones together. Then I added the totals. And you can pause your video, of course, and get all this down or write it in your own words. But basically, you're adding the tens, then the ones, and then adding those totals together. Okay, so we're moving on to page 135, our next page. And on here it says there are many ways to add three numbers, to break them apart and add them together. Now there's a lot of explaining here, but I want you to pause the video and go ahead and look at these, because you can probably use those great brains of yours and figure out what's going on. So go ahead and do that and then start the video when you're ready. Okay, we're back. So right up here, you see we are putting together both numbers. You can add two numbers at a time and then add on the third number. Down here, they are doing the same thing, but they brought down this one number, and then they're trying to put together the ones that make a 10. And they're in order right now, but the 8 and the 2 make a 10. Now, sometimes there are two numbers that make 100, especially when we're dealing with all these two-digit numbers. And here you see 25 and 75. Think of quarters, 25 a quarter and then 3/4. 4/4 make $1. So 100 right there. And then adding the other number. So these are different set of numbers here. Down here it says work with a partner. Well, maybe you can at home, but if you can't, you can work with yourself or talk to your stuffed animal or pet and tell them why would you change the order that you add three numbers. Now, remember in adding, we learned yesterday, you can switch things around. So, turnaround facts, we've learned that even in kindergarten. So, if you're switching those around, why would you want to do it? So, I want you to pause the video and write your answer down there. Okay, why would you switch numbers around? Okay, guys, I'm going to learn about your answers later. So let's go on and move on to 136. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video and read the problem, and I'm also going to read it as well. Okay, and we're back, so let's read the problem. You're going to explore different ways to add four numbers this time, not just three. Ray and Cho fill water bottles for a game. Ray fills 16 red balloons and 41 white balloons. Cho fills 22 red balloons and 39 white balloons. This all sounds kind of sketchy. How many balloons do they fill in all? Not sure what the game is. I'm sure it's just fine though. So you can break numbers into tens and ones. So right here, they have all the tens together, the 16, the 41, 22, 39, and they line the tens up and then the ones. And what have they done here? They found they can make fives, groups of five. Can't always do that, but you can there. And so 5 plus 5 tens, 5 tens plus 5 tens. And then over here, they have the ones. They made a 7 here and an 11 here. Now, can you see something else they could have done? Yeah, there's some other combinations, and we're going to see that in a minute. So if you need to pause the video and look at that, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're going to move on here to you can add two numbers at a time. So maybe we're just going to add 2 of the 4 and 2 more of the 4. And since we're adding, it doesn't matter the order. We have the W here, known as the Weisgerber to many of you because of the W. And so here they added the 16 and the 22 and the 41 and the 39. Now look at this 0. Where'd they get that 0? They get that 10. So you can pause and look that over again. Okay, now we're going to move on to page 137. Connect, add 4 two-digit numbers. And you're actually going to have to refer to these two, using homophones, charts model, the first model and the second model. So it says, look at the first modelet. Fill in the blanks to find the total number of balloons. Well, we had all the tens here. Unfortunately, they've done it for us here. But 5 plus 5 tens equal how many tens? We know our doubles facts, 10 tens. And what about ones? 7 plus 1. Remember, the 7 will go in the ones place, not the tens place. So 7 plus 1 is 8. And then we have a 10. 10 ones, so it's 18. So 10 tens plus 18 ones. Well, 18 ones, we have 8 in the ones place, but this is actually a 10, right? So it's got to be added over here. So that's 11 tens. 11 tens. It makes it a little confusing there because you have 11 tens. Well, what are 10 tens? 10 tens are 100. And another 10. So it's actually that. You think through it. So you have 110, so you can put 110 in the tens place, and then this is 100. Since it's in the hundreds place, you're just going to put a 1 there. All right, there we go. So then it says this box shows how Ella added the numbers. Ella must be their accountant. Maybe she's in charge of supply and demand at Ray and Show's balloon making. So Ella added the numbers. How is this like adding in the first model it? Over here. So I want you to pause the video, looking at her chart and the other table. Okay, and we're back. So how is it like adding in the first one? Well, we don't see any 10 written out here. We do see the ones look exactly the same, right? The tens, we know these are tens though because they are in the tens place. So how is it the same? Well, I want you to write down there what it is. So you're going to pause the video and go ahead and write it down if you haven't already. Okay, we're back. So in both cases, and you may write this your own way, of course, the tens and ones are added separately. Then the two totals are added together. I could have just said the totals are added together. All right, so something like that. And if you want to write this and you weren't sure what to write, you may just pause it and go ahead and write that down. Okay, so for number 4, look at the second modelet. It's the Y is a Gerber down here, the W. So why are 41 and 39 grouped together? Why 41 and 39? Well, we know, don't we? It's because the 1 and the 9 make a 10. So you can make a 10 from the 1 and the 9. Something like that. Okay, complete the work in the second modelet to find the number of balloons that Ray and Cho fill in all. So the second modelet, so not the one up there. So right here, you're going to use their two numbers that they've totaled so far, 38 plus 80 equals, Well, fortunately, we have this 0 here, so we know the ones are going to be pretty easy. We can do a W again here, a y squared. We have the 8 plus the 0, which equals 8. And then we have 8 tens plus 3 tens, which equal how many tens? 11. Remember up here, and we have to be careful how we write it. So 11 tens, we have 1 10, and what's 10 tens are actually 100, so it's 110. So remember, when we're putting it up here, we're not going to put the 0 because this is in the ones place. So we have 118. All right. Now you geniuses are going to show your stuff, and you are going to answer number 6 on your own. And remember to show your work. Yuri's bowling scores are 45, 62, 68, and 55. What is the total of Yuri's 4 scores? So go ahead and pause your video and put your answer. Okay, and we're back. We are moving on to our last page of the day. It is page 138. Now, there are more of these green pages in the practice section, but we're just going to start here for today to break it apart a little bit. All right, so you have another model to study. Study the model below, then solve problems 7 through 9. So this model is going to go with 7, 8, and 9. But I want you to go ahead and just look at it today in regards to what we just done. So we have just been adding several 2-digit numbers, and you're going to be doing it on your own for the rest of the problem. So here we have the rocks, the pine cones, a nice little table here, feathers, and acorns. It says Mr. Carey's class took a nature walk. The chart shows what they collected. How many objects did they collect in all? So here's another strategy. You can add 2 numbers at a time. So here they added the 37 plus the 36. Why did they do that? I mean, the 63, excuse me. Why did they do that? Well, you can make a 10 right there, can't you? And it turns out it ends up 100, which is nice and neat there. Then 52 plus 12 is left, or the 2 numbers that are left, you get 64. And then those are easy to add straight down, old school. You get 164, and they put their answer in wonderful words. The class collected 164 objects. Beautiful, complete sentence there with the answer. It is a word problem, so we want to write out the answer in words there. So we're going to do one here. Do any one's digits make a 10? Ooh, a little clue there. So look out for that. There are 28 parrots and 23 macaws in the zoo's jungle bird house. There are also 22 toucans and 25 hornbills. What is the total number of birds? So the total number of birds is what we're looking for. We have 28 parrots, 23 macaws, 22 toucans, and 25 hornbills. So you're going to answer this on your own, friends. We're going to check back and see your answers later. And just to summarize, when you're adding multiple 2-digit numbers, and even on up when we get into higher numbers, you may add them together in any way that you wish. Any of these strategies, ones together, tens together, numbers that would make a 10 or make 100. So look for the patterns you can find. Look for those tens that you can make. That's always a good strategy. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave you to number 7, and I'll see you tomorrow for the rest of the workbook pages. Good being with you. Watch out for Ray and Cho and those water balloons. Okay, bye, guys.